What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I've got a really cool guest. He's visiting us all the way from Australia. His name is Spike Spencer. He is a voice actor coach. I missed one. Spike. Speaker. Voice actor, speaker, coach. Spike, thank you so much for joining us. I know there's a little chaos here in the background, so I have to put that disclaimer out there. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
You bet. So, hi everybody. My name is Spike Spencer, and I'm best known as a voice actor. And I've done anime, video games, animation, all sorts of things. Google me. Or you. And through that, I've been a public speaker for many, many, many years, and traveled the world and spoken on communications and connection and relationships, which I'm also a coach in communications, connection, relationships, and I wrote a book called Food Game, A Man's Ultimate Recipe for Dating Success in the Dating world as well. So that's some of the stuff that I do, and I'm also a foodie and a huge Monty Python fan. Thank you, and good night.
Well, we're going to have to expound on a lot of that stuff. But so we talked a little briefly about what got you your transplant from the U.S. to Australia. Before we get into all the juicy stuff about what you do, because I was looking at your website, and you do a lot of really cool stuff. You've been mentioned in like USA Today, The Hollywood Reporter, all that stuff. So what got you to, sorry to make you regurgitate what you told me, sorry guys, but I need to share the story with you, the audience. So tell them what got you to, because I think it's a pretty common story with what we've gone through the last year.
But what got me to Australia?
What got you to Australia? Sorry.
I was appearing at a convention. I'm well known in a kind of a small sliver of the voiceover world, and so I'm incredibly fortunate I get to travel the world and appear at conventions. And so I was appearing in Melbourne and the Gold Coast, which is south of Brisbane in Australia. It's called Supernova. Amazing, wonderful convention. And we did Melbourne, and then we came up to the Gold Coast, and we pulled in to the Gold Coast the day Tom Hanks said he had COVID. He was shooting in the Gold Coast, so he was like a couple of blocks away from us. And so then the world kind of went, oh my, Tom Hanks has it, everything's going to go crazy. So everything started to shut down, and we were here for a couple of weeks, and we just decided, it was like, this is a little crazy. We're going to hang out for a little while. We had a couple months left on our visa. We're just going to chill, let it blow over, spend a little extra time. And so we packed for 3 weeks, and we've been here over a year. And they stopped flying, and nobody's coming, nobody's going really. It's very hard to get here from anywhere else. And we love it here. We have had a blast. We're now having a second baby here in June. And the beach is over there. I can see the water from our apartments that we have now. And I started culinary school to become a chef, not because I want to work in a restaurant, because I'm a hell of a foodie, and I'm probably going to do a dating cooking show. Food Game.
That's
plug.
Cool.
See what I did there?
Yeah, that's very cool. I love that. That's a great idea. So let's talk about what you do. So you're a voice actor, speaker, coach. Those are a lot of different things that you do. Let's talk about the voice actor role.
Sure.
Because that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, I've been an actor since, 1988 or so. So I've been an actor for about 30 years, and I originally started in Houston, Texas. So when you're in Houston, you do everything. Houston, you go up to Dallas and New Orleans and Austin and even Oklahoma City if you have to for auditions. And you do training films, you do speaking, you do commercials, voice, whatever it is. And so I did all of that. As a matter of fact, I've been on camera in scenes with 4 Academy Award nominees. 2 of them won. And that was super cool up until about 2005. That's when my life took a huge turn. Because I was there in Houston. I was married, my first wife. I had a real estate business as well because I was flipping houses at the time as well as acting. My career started to take off, and then there was a divorce, bankruptcy. It's all on my website.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah, lost everything, moved to LA, started over. And fortunately, I found that I had a following in the voiceover world. So in Hollywood, I came out there thinking, I'm going to be a big-time screen actor. And Hollywood said, sit down, kid. We don't care. And I was like, okay, great. So I guess I'll do some voice acting, and that took off. And then I found out I could go to conventions. My friend said, "You know, you're kind of famous, right?" I'm like, "What? I didn't know that." And then I started going to conventions all over the world and having a blast.
Yeah.
So that puts us into more speaking and coaching, et cetera, down the road. But that's how I got started because I wanted to be an actor, and I am an actor, but mainly just voice acting for the last 15 years.
That's a hard industry, I feel like, to get into. I was approached when I was in my early 20s to be like to get into acting and to do that. I just never appealed to me because I really didn't want to have to go through because you guys go up to like up against a lot of competition.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a lot. If you don't like to audition, it's one of those things. And I hate to audition. I just
Yeah,
really
I'm
do. It's
sure.
like I just want to work. I don't want to audition, but you have to. You have to audition. So you got to
Yeah,
learn to love the auditions.
yeah, yeah. Because it could be pretty tedious, and just the rejection part of it. And there's a lot of politics, is there not?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's high school.
Just like anything in life.
It's high school. It's high school all over again.
There's politics everywhere. So, what got you into the coaching? So, you're a speaker, so that kind of I feel
Mhm.
like that kind of goes hand in hand with the acting because I mean, you being a voice actor is pretty a natural fit for speaking. I feel like, and I could see you're probably really dynamic when you're speaking.
I do have fun. I love to have a good time, and it's why I say my tagline is I talk goofy for a living, seriously,
I
because
like that.
that's what I do. It's like whatever I'm talking about, whatever, like for example, I started speaking on my own things back 12, 13 years ago, and I started talking about dating and relationships because that's what I was learning and working and going through, and I was
Yeah,
sharing my knowledge and my journey. And then once I met Kim, who is absolutely amazing and phenomenal, you'll meet her soon. And she is a high performance coach, and
okay.
she is trained, and she got me into doing some training, and I was like, wow, okay, so we both got certified in neuro linguistic programming, NLP. Then so we get certified there, and we got certified in the bank code personality sales training system there. So then she went on with like Brendan Bouchard, et cetera. So she really helped me go pro in a way. She's far
Yeah,
better than I am, I'll say right now. Um, but I'm really good at what I do, which is relationships and communication and connection. And I got better at that as I went along and was presenting the knowledge that I wanted to share with people at conventions all around the world, even if they were
sure.
voiceover conventions. I would turn it into, like, I have something called the Reluctant Hero's Journey. Everybody's on it, but not everybody wants to be. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to be the hero of your own life. That's one of
Yes.
my big talks.
Hey guys, Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. Summer is coming. Are you a six pack kind of guy or a dad bod kind of guy? Either way, our friends at Manscaped have the fellas' hairy bodies covered. They just launched their fourth generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right, you heard that right. 4.0. Trim from the leaders in male grooming. So the man in your life can join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code labelfree20. That's right, 20% off with free shipping with the code labelfree20. So head on over to their website, manscaped.com, and pick up something for yourself, the man in your life, whomever that might want to benefit from keeping everything nice and tight for the summer. I love that. I really resonate. Let's talk about that. So, when
Okay.
you teach or when you're coaching somebody how to be the hero, or you're speaking about that, what do you feel are some setbacks for people that aren't wanting to be the or the roadblocks that are preventing them from being the hero of their own life?
Absolutely. So some of the roadblocks are essentially everybody else. Number one,
Yeah,
if you think about it, what are you being inundated with every day? Look at the news, look at the radio, all that stuff. Once you step back away from that for, I tell everybody, turn your TV off. Don't turn it on. Turn your radio
yeah,
off. Don't turn it on. Give it a weekend, give it 2, 3 days, and just let yourself think and observe the world. Then you go back and you turn it on, you're like, well, that's nonsense. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense, et cetera, et cetera. So I haven't watched TV in years. I got away from politics. I got away from all of it. Cleared my mind, and I'm like, oh wow, because now I see things going on. I can see the patterns. Now you can see once you get
Yeah.
step out of the game, you can see the game and sort of judge it. So people are being inundated all the time, and it goes into your subconscious, and so that goes into your self-talk. I can go on
Yeah.
this for hours, but to put it in a quick nutshell, we're being inundated with a lot of negativity and limitations imposed on us by other people.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. The first step is let's get past that. Realize the power that is within you. You know, you have that. Look at people like the Reluctant Hero's journey. I model after like Frodo. Think about that from
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. He just a little hobbit who goes and saves the world. Look at in anime. There's a character named Shinji, which I'm really known for, and he gets into the big robot and fights. I would say look at John McClane from Die Hard. Come on now,
Oh yes.
you know,
Yeah.
here's this guy, he's just a cop, he's doing his thing, and then bam, he's got to fight all these terrorists. And that's, if you look at Hollywood, that's the baseline of a lot of stories. Reluctant hero has to step up and become more than he believes he can be. You can too.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm all about that world. I'm all about that life. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't watch TV or the news or any of that because I just feel like it's all propaganda, and we won't get into all that because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But it's just it's just too negative, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's way too one-sided to like allow myself to like go into my subconscious or into my mind. I just feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by listening to it. I know a lot of people do. A lot
Yeah,
of
oh
people do.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's something interesting for, because when I talked about this, when I got away from it all, I realized how quickly I was, quote unquote, triggered. And, oh, everybody's just in everybody's face. And it's like, I
Yeah,
don't do that anymore. I don't care what position you have. I'm like, huh, well, that's interesting. That's
yeah,
curious. I'm curious now. I don't get upset. I don't care because I realize that's other people's opinions. My opinion about me is the one that counts. When people tell you you're this or you're that, I'm like, well, that's your opinion of who you think I am, and you don't even know me. So
yeah,
it really has no validation. So
yeah,
see
yeah.
ya.
Very true, very true. So, what kind of clients are you coaching?
Well, it depends. So I'm in the Reluctant Hero's journey. I have targeted it toward my world, which is sci-fi nerds, anime geeks, etc. The geek nerd world. It's huge, millions and millions of people,
Oh
and
God,
they
yeah,
don't really get personal development or self-help and growth in that world. You don't hear that a
right.
lot. People don't even understand the concepts when I say, "Do you know who Tony Robbins is? Brendan Burchard? Do you know these guys?" And they're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Oh, no."
Yeah. So
You,
like the guys that go to like Comic Con and stuff like that.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
so that was the people that I'm in front of, and that's where I have a little bit of popularity. And so I figured, you know what, I can help them, and they don't even know this world exists. A lot of them,
yeah,
whenever they come to me and they're like, I never heard this stuff before. I'm like, I've heard this for 30 years, but they've never heard it. So I'm a sci-fi geek myself. I mean, and I do the voices on all these crazy things anyway. So it's like, okay, it's an easy fit for me. But I've taught business people, six-figure earners, seven-figure earners, that sort of thing. But it's like I'm teaching the mindset, the communication and connection and relationships.
yeah,
That's my jam. I stay in my lane, and I'm all about the subconscious manifestation and that arena. And I'm a student of all of that myself. I don't say, well, I'm up on this mountaintop now. Come to me and listen to
well,
what I have to
yeah,
say. No, no, I'm in it with you, and it's pretty awesome, because I see it happen in my life. I just did a podcast the other day, a training actually, about practical manifestation, how you can do it every day, and gave examples of just in my life where I've done simple little things that it was just a mindset shift. That's all I needed, a
yeah.
little whoop, and then things came my way. I was like, whoa, that was awesome. So
I feel like,
that's kind
and
of
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you, but I feel like when you've realized how to shift like your mindset, that's a lifelong journey and a lifelong exercise that you have to do because it's not easy, and you can have a different types of mindsets around different things in your life, and so it's. I think you always, once you are aware of doing that, if you come to a place where you have to come back and shift your mindset, like that is like a lifelong thing.
Oh, absolutely. However, it's very interesting if you think about it, because people look at something like personal development. It's like, oh, I'm never going to get it. It's so hard. How hard is
Yeah.
it to get in your car, drive to the store, pick up some milk, and come back home? Pretty easy. Well,
Yeah.
remember when you couldn't get in that car? You couldn't even climb up into the car? Remember when you could not drive that car? You were scared to death to drive that car. Now you can drive all over the place, not even
Yeah.
thinking about it. Second
Right.
nature. Same things goes with you. You have to learn how to drive you.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. And I like that you have a niche. Did I say that right? Niche. Niche.
Niche.
Niche.
Frederick
Whatever.
Nietzsche. No, I don't know.
I love. So I've been a big. I've dated a lot of guys that were kind of like the comic book world. So I love that you're targeted more towards them because you're right. They don't have a lot of self development, and I think they kind of get stuck in that fantasy world. Does that play into anything when it comes to coaching?
Absolutely. I use different examples, like when I said things like Shinji, and I pull stuff in from sci-fi all the time because that's just my jam. I find it fun. But like for example, like I'll bring in Star Wars. I'm going to do a podcast or a full training called Midichlorians and You,
Oh, there you go. There
because
you go.
if you look at the Force, it's driven by midichlorians, et cetera, et cetera. If you break that down, it's like, whoa, hold on, that's frequency, vibration. That
Yes.
is really life. That's the universe. We're all together. The infinite intelligence. We're all actually literally connected. You can feel the energy off of somebody who walks in the room
Yes.
and you go, damn, what's up with that person? There's something going on over there. You can feel that. We all can feel that. We all know that. And yet, when you say something like, well, it's the frequency of vibration, people are like going, oh, that's hippy dippy, man. That's weird. It's like, no, it's science now. It's being validated. And
Yes.
it's true. I can just tell you in your own life. Have you ever been in a room and gone, ooh, something's weird? Of course you have. We all have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's it. That's
I'm
it.
very tuned into energy, and actually, like I've been told, and this is a compliment, that I've been told that when I enter the room, I raise the vibration of the room. Like my energy
Yep.
just raises the because I'm such a happy I'm like
Yeah.
so I'm always trying to put off that good energy, and yeah, when I come in contact with somebody. I like I cling to people that have good energy. So like,
Yeah.
but when I encounter someone that has like that bad something going on. I'm like, whoa, back off. I don't want
Yeah.
you in my, I don't
Yeah.
want you in this force field. No, thank you.
Yeah. You have to cleanse yourself and get away from that. That's one of our teachers, Brendan Burchard. His big catchphrase: "Bring the joy." And I
Yes.
love that. I love that. And I was a cheerleader in high school, so I'm still a cheerleader.
That's good. We
and
need cheerleaders.
Yeah, and that's what I like to do. I'm your biggest cheerleader. If you work with me, I'm your biggest cheerleader, man. Because I believe in you more than you do probably at this point in time.
Yeah.
So
I love that. That's really great. So before, of course, she has
sit,
to
Ubu,
start.
sit. Good dog.
Yeah, there you go. There's Athena. She's making some noise. So before we start wrapping things up, where can people find you? Can you plug your links where they could find you and follow your journey if they want to work with you or
Yeah,
anything like that?
absolutely. Easiest thing to do is just go to spikespencer.com. Very simple. You can Google me, just hit Spike Spencer. That'll come up, and who knows what else will come up. But
Uh oh. Some secrets there.
I've had some wild times. So it's spikespencer.com, and I have a podcast called the Mind Scrambler Podcast, which is all about scrambling up those stories that we were talking about earlier and getting them cleared out. And I interview a lot of people from the sci-fi nerd world,
Cool.
voiceover and actors, etc. So people that are into personal development and growth. Those are the two big places I would say go, and obviously follow me on Twitter for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, before we say goodbye, Spike, are there any last words of wisdom that you'd like to leave with the audience?
Believe in yourself more than you think you can, because somebody else does.
I like that. That's good. It's very short but sweet and very relevant. Well, thank you very much for being a guest. I know it's early where you are. We're getting the party started here in the Chicagoland area. You are a lot of fun. I love it. We'll have to have you back.
Anytime.
You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.